Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, we Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. I'm using the remains of Renato's dummies. They still work in the game. There's things that I asked Renato to do to help do some more DPS checks. Hopefully we can get those. He's kind of AWOL as of these days. But this is a quick test furthering my study on the effect of Fanaticism on revive. Specifically, does it reduce their frames per attack? I chose a level 15 Fanaticism and a level 18 Might. Level 15 can be got from Faith, and level 18 Might can be got from an Act 5 Might Merc. That's not really the important thing. I'm not worried about the level 18 Might. I just want a Might or a concentration that matches the ED benefit to the party of my Fanaticism. I was checking because these tests took way too long. They're on 500,000 hit dummies. That means all enemies in Diablo 2, you may hear people say sometimes about how, like, oh, this enemy's got Deadly Strike, or this enemy has Crushing Blow. All minions in Diablo 2, as far as that I know of, they all have a random chance to crit that's like 5%, I believe. Maybe it's 10%. Some enemies have special modifiers to them, like Deadly Strike or Crushing Blow, in addition to that random chance to crit that enemies have. The Zakurai is a pretty basic revive. I was actually going to do Fallen, but then I realized if I'm in Lower Kurast, why not just use Zakurites? Because they're right there, and I can just revive them, and, you know, they have pretty good revive AI. Like, Lurkers would be terrible, and Vultures, and things like that. There's actually some things I want to get into later on about enemy AI, especially when they're revived. But let's finish this right now. By getting a Might or Concentration that gives the same ED bonus to party as a level 15 Faith, I can hopefully see that when a level 37 Revive kills a 500,000 hit dummy with level 15 Fanaticism, and then the same Revive kills a 500,000 hit dummy with level 18 Might, I can see the difference in the kill speed. That difference in kill speed should tell us if it is reducing their frames per attack. What are the other issues besides random crits? The idle has been reduced severely in Diablo 2, but that's a constant number, okay? The thing that is an issue still is that AIs seem to have just this random habit of not attacking at the same speeds. Like, it has nothing to do with their idle. It's like, you'll see it with skeletons or mages or archers where there's like 3 different ranges of speeds with which they'll attack. There's the attack quickly, attack medium, attack really slowly. And that's the best way I can describe it, because I've made several videos like this and watched people and summons kill dummies. Like, look, I'm out here trying to min-max summoner looking at frame data. Not really, because I can't actually look at frame data. There's actually one other way to do this test, and it's something that I did with the council members, and that is to try to go frame by frame and see if Fanaticism reduces the frames per their attack. How this game works is there's no like half frame, right? So if this game's at 25 frames per second, and let's say a council member takes 10 frames to attack, then we should be able to see if the attack finishes in 1 frame sooner, or 2 frames sooner, or 3 even. The problem is I don't have very good video editing software. I use Wondershare for Mora, which is a terrible company apparently. I just bought their software years ago. It's not very good, to be frank, but you know what? For a guy who is just making content for fun, it works for me. The problem is I can't actually go frame by frame because this game runs at 25 frames per second. I can only go at 30 frames or 60 frames. So I asked Horny Vegan if he could actually be the guy to actually go and record at 25 frames per second and then move 1 frame forward at 25 frames. And that would be a way to, like, end this conversation completely for good, right? Because we could clearly be able to see the attack starts and the attack ends 1 frame or 2 frames sooner. Well, based on my test, which do have issues based on random AI bugginess, as you can see, they're not aggroing the enemy, but maybe one crits more or has more quick cycle attacks than the other one. It turns out that the Fanaticism one is attacking about 7%, is doing 7% more DPS, just based on frame data, basically. And how I do that is I take the ED out of the equation and then divide the two numbers with each other, and we get about a 7% difference. A 7% difference is actually probably 2 frames. For instance, skeletons have like a 5 frame save, a 4 to 5 frame save, and that's like a 20% to 25% DPS increase, right? So a 1 to 2 frame save should be about 7%, right? 2 frames. Now anyways, here's some information from Amazon Basin. I did one final test, and it scared me to death. In my final test, I ran a Zocarite against a 100,000 HP dummy, and this time I wasn't going to use an aura at all. Why I did this, I was like, what if auras don't even affect revives, right? Like, it's possible. Like, there's bugs and codes, okay? So I just ran this test real quickly, and when I ran this test, I realized something. The Fanaticism dummy, or the Fanaticism Zocarite, has a benefit over the Might Zocarite. That is, if there's any elemental damage on his attacks, he's benefiting from that, with the Might Merc doesn't get that added bonus, okay? Because he's attacking faster. So it's changing the numbers even more, which means it's probably not frames different. It should be way more than 7% at that point. Well, I checked on Amazon Basin, and Zocarites have no elemental damage. So, I really do believe a level 15 Fanaticism saves 2 frames off of your revives attacks. Skelly King out, guys. GG.
Come and play with us, Danny. Forever.